I don't even know what to tell y'all. I really don't. And I know it can be super confusing the way I show up on this platform, especially with how joyous and optimistic and full of light and love that I am. But your girl be struggling. Life be lifing. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm just doing the best that I can. But when I tell you, I'm so tired. So tired. So it's July 31st. It is the last day of this forsaken month. Probably the worst month of my entire life. I celebrated my sister's birthday. She turned 29, so I celebrated life with her. Actually, we couldn't even have a chance to celebrate life with her because the night before we received tragic news that our grandmother, my dad's mother, had passed away. And that was a huge blow. That was the closest family member that we've lost. And having to plan her memorial service within 2 weeks and, helping the family navigate, that trauma, helping my son navigate that grief. And then we also lost my grandfather 5 days later. And then at the same time, I moved into my own first apartment. I was getting a car, like student association stuff, school stuff, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, on top of that, in July, I also received a promotion for work, signed a new contract. Amen. Trying to wrap my head around that and trying to maintain consistency in my performance with this job because I love it. I'm great at it. I really want to stay here. I want to do great things, and God bless my team because they've been so gracious during this time of loss when they received the news, and flexible, with my travels back and forth to Phoenix and so forth. But it's just tricky when everybody's just always telling you, oh, take the time that you need, or, take care of yourself, or da 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 da. But the time and the care that I need is like the type of time and support that I require is not feasible. And that's what's really frustrating. And so I'm sharing this because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's just what we tell people, when they're going through hard times, like, please take the time that you need, but like, don't put that responsibility on them when it's not possible. It's not possible for them to take the time that they need. It's not up to them whether or not they could take the time that they need. You can help them take the time that they need by doing stuff like, relieving them of responsibilities or loads or burdens or something, running errands for them so that they don't have to, so that they can have time back, right? Or, like ways like that, but just telling somebody to take the time that they need, and they're looking at it like, well, I got to get back to work tomorrow. I already took time off. I can't afford no more time off. You know what I'm saying? I have responsibilities and obligations. I can't just drop balls and not do what I got. And then when it comes to the empathy and the condolences, and this is why I wasn't quick to share, and I just haven't been telling a whole bunch of people because it's just for what? What are people gonna do with the news of my trauma and my grief? But hopefully, maybe again, pitch in, relieve some some pressure, some stress, give me opportunity to vent or cry, or any form of support is greatly appreciated. That will help me in my pain. That will help me in my stress. That will help me in my frustration. But otherwise, if I feel like you're not in a position, or you have no interest in in doing anything like that, I don't feel like you need to know because it's irrelevant information and it's just gonna frustrate me. Because if I open up and I'm vulnerable right now in my time of hypersensitivity, especially if I am able to maintain myself and contain my emotions so not to just regurgitate all over you, and all of a sudden I'm sobbing on your shoulders and you just ask me how I'm doing today. Be getting a lot of hey, how are you today? Especially for those who have heard about the loss or have heard about the accident and want to check in. And it's just how do you answer that? You know, like I don't. It doesn't always feel like the truth when I say I'm good. There's always like I can't say I'm great or like I'm. Most days just feels like I'm here. I'm just grateful to be here, and that's a big thing. There's nothing light. There's nothing light at all. So I'm here. I'm here, and I'm grateful. And it's really just one step in front of the next. Like I can't even process where I am and what I'm doing right now. It's gonna take some time. So yeah, if you see me moving, just let me move. I'm like, what did I come in here to really share? Because I don't feel like getting into it now. But I did want to share because I don't like my community not knowing, you know, like what I'm experiencing, because that does create a variation of isolation. Like I'm living in this reality, but nobody else, you know, is in the same reality, you know, with me. So I do just want to share that I am very much experiencing a human moment right now. I am fine, you know. I'm grieving. I'm stressed. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I am making adjustments. I'm getting super strict in my discipline and my routine. I'm getting super strict in how where I invest my energy and stuff. And so if I don't respond to you, it's not because there's no love. It's just there's no capacity. There's no bandwidth. And yeah, almost losing my life for like the 7th time. You know, it's just like every single time I get more and more clarity on just where I am and is this it type of thing. And you know how you gotta reassess. And I'm just like, because that Sunday had been the day. That Sunday had been the day that was written on my tombstone. Did I achieve all the things that I wanted to achieve? Do my loved ones know that I love them? You know, like, is my business in a place where it can live on without me? Do I have any legacy? You know, do I have life insurance right now? I don't. I'm still trying to, like, get the medical insurance and stuff together. Y'all know the life of a independent contract entrepreneur, okay? So yeah, so I'm sorry to have come on here with some morbid news. We'll get back to regular programming shortly. I thank you so much for your patience and your grace. And yeah, this is not to discourage anybody from like checking in on me or anything like that. Like please check in. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody who has already, and I'll get back to everybody as soon as I can. But I'm just not rushing. I have to take care of me and my son and my family first, and then I could take care of everybody else. But yeah, just like words to share, because I know that I'm not the only one that's going through right now. And so if my testimony can shine light on anybody else's or can validate or affirm anybody else, then I definitely want to do that. And otherwise, just let you guys know that I'm all right. But just remember, it's not, please take the time that you need. It's, I hope you can take the time that you need. It's, how can I help you take the time that you need? What do you need? You know? And then fighting like hell to make sure that person gets what they need. And remember that basic needs are big needs, like sleep, food, water, you know? Because we kind of forget that in the, you know, the grief of it all and stuff.
A few moments later. Hopped into a meeting with the client of my job, right? Rent job, right? Didn't go great. It went fine enough, did not go great. I'm misinformed, you know, like my information isn't up to date. I didn't prepare for the meeting. I didn't like. And it's like, you try to give yourself grace, you know? You try to be like, well, yeah, this morning was a little tough. And honestly, maybe you shouldn't have had that meeting. Maybe you should have took the week off. but we're here now. And